Veritone.com. Transcripts are also provided by ASAP. All right, first up today is the Miami Hurricanes. Winners of today's game, they will advance to the second round on Sunday, represented today by head coach Katie Meier and student athletes Kelsey Marshall and Karla Erjavec. Coach, if you would, please make an opening statement.
Always so much respect for South Florida. Really couldn't believe the draw when we got it. Just thought, wow, that's ironic. Two Florida teams playing each other, very familiar. A lot of players, multiple recruiting, a lot of international players that knew each other really well. So I just want to give them a ton of credit. They are very, very, very difficult to score against. I am as surprised as anyone that we got to 78 and that we had three quarters that we got 20 points in them, because they are very difficult to score against. What happened in our game today is I have my two steady eddies that keep me sane, sitting here right next to me, but it was the other players. I thought our bench, and I'm not quite sure what our bench, but 29 points off the bench. Well, there's the game. There's the game. We went 6 deep on our scout against South Florida, and I'm sure that some of these people, like Lachey Dwyer, wasn't even in their scouting report. We missed Shea a lot in the ACC tournament. She broke her nose in the second she was in, and so that had to be a big surprise. Naomi Mbandu was ridiculous. City Baba went in there and did her job. So as much as I love my horses and we ride them, Mava, it's one thing to hit a three that, it's another thing when all week the coaches have been saying, Mava, you have to hit 2 of these. We said, Mava, you have to hit 2 of these for us to win. And they're going to be on these plays. And she hit 2 and the other one was in and out. So I thought that was the difference in the game, and that's what's happened with this team this year. I have never had more fun when it was hard. I don't know how else to explain it. It was very, very hard. It's been a very hard year. It was just hard for a lot of reasons. But this team never made practice hard. When the planes got delayed or the COVID shutdown or whatever, it was never hard around them. They're joyful. They love the game. They compete. And they really kept all of us, the staff, which I have an incredible staff, but they really kept us just very small in our focus of, well, isn't this a joy and a pleasure? It is an honor to coach these girls the way they act, these young ladies. So that's my opening statement, and it was really long.
We'll open up for questions first for just the student athletes. If you would, please raise your hand. We'll get a microphone to you. Go here in the front row.
Kelsey, you shot 50% tonight. I guess what was working for you, Will, and I guess how were you able to? I'm sorry, Karla. Sorry. You shot 50% tonight. I guess what was working for you so well, and how were you able to find your shot?
Honestly, coming into the game, I really just try to focus on the defensive end and let the game come to me. And in the second half, when the game came to me, when I got open shots, I just knocked them down. They were going under some screens, and I was just ready to shoot off of that, and the shots went in today.
And then actual Kelsey, for you, you guys had 3 fouls early but kind of settled down. What was the key in just kind of, limiting those for the rest of the game essentially, and especially that first quarter?
Well, we knew from the beginning of the game that we had to not foul and, keep USF off the free throw line. So I think we became more disciplined throughout the games, being able to remember the players' tendencies and being able to stay in front.
Jeffrey?
For either of you, were you surprised at the pace of this one? I think we all kind of came out expecting this to be a defensive, we all settle in and watch it come slowly together, but instead it seemed like that first quarter was about as frantic a quarter as I've seen in a while.
Kelsey, why don't you take that first?
I don't think so. Honestly, we're kind of a fast-paced team. When we need to settle down, we'll settle down, but normally we're usually used to the fast tempo game.
Karla?
The only thing I would add to, we base our basic stuff is defense, and when we lock down on defense and we can run on teams, that's when we can score in high margins. And I really believe we rebounded well during the game, and then that led us to some runouts where we could get our score higher.
Other questions for the student athletes? Anything from our Zoom audience? See any hands, so I guess the student athletes can go. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We'll open up for questions for Coach Meier. Jeffrey?
Kind of the same question for you, Coach. I mean, was this in the game plan? Was this part of? I mean, you obviously the shooting wasn't.
I'm not
but-
going to disagree with my players. I guess they were ready to score, but it was a great question. I have so much respect. It is so difficult to even cut against South Florida. To even go from the wing to the top of the key, like they don't let you do it. And I think our pace and our depth allowed us to play to the style that we wanted to play. If the game had been 50 to 55, I think South Florida might be sitting here right now. So we knew we had to score. I knew we had to get a couple of those flare threes. We had to lift them away from the basket a little bit and open it up. And then in the end, even that last play with Kelsey Marshall got that and one. It's a play that we didn't run the whole game. But when I saw how we had developed, because our depth had tired them out a little bit, I'm like, okay, we're going to get this call. And that and one, and it was really an important thing, but it ended up being a layup, which they never give up. So it took a lot of work to get to that point in the fourth quarter where the rim did open up a little bit. But I'm not sitting here today if Karla didn't answer I believe it was the fourth, when she went on a little, what was the run there, Megan? But she answered. They were coming back at us, and we were disjointed, and we were tired, and Karla just did things that had nothing to do with Coach Meier. It was 100% Karla off a ball screen, Karla off a dig out, Karla on a little pull-up. And one time she shot it, and I was like, why not? I mean, and the team started laughing. I'm like, why not, Karla? Like, sure, if you're in the zone. So I started calling plays for Karla that I normally call for Kelsey, and she really came through.
Let's go to the front row here.
Early on, Elena from USF just seemed like she was kind of hitting everything. What was the key in kind of containing her later on?
It was crazy because I think she had a bank three, right? And there were a couple times that we didn't guard her well, and there were a couple times where, as a coach, if you panic and over-adjust, you just sometimes have to have a little bit of faith. And she hit a three when we were icing a ball screen. And we were two people around, so. But at halftime, we talked about it a lot as a staff. We had another option that we were going to go to. But I think the big change is we went zone a little bit there when they were tired. So, and I think it was really important that they were tired when we did it because they were shooting it so well. But we wore them out. We did a lot of pressing. I think our freshman guards were phenomenal. If that's their first NCAA, the future's pretty bright at Miami because I thought Dwyer and Williams just wore them out, and then we could go zone.
And then just kind of flipping that as far as you guys offensively, it seemed like you were able to find some holes in their defense. I guess, how important was that ball movement and just being able
Yeah, you know what, I think there were times there we ran through the ACC tournament running a lot of sets that got us exactly what we needed, right? But that was 4 games in 3 days. I felt my players today were like horses in the cage, like, come on, coach, like, don't call sets, like, let us go. I really felt like they had that, so I kind of let them go a little bit more than I normally do. And when I tried to slow it down, it didn't look so good. So sometimes you defer to your players, and they were absolutely loudly saying, we want to score today. And I was like, okay. So that's what I said, in the press conference before, like, with experience in the NCAA tournament, you just got to coach what you see. And I have 1,000 pages of plans, but I had to just coach what I saw, and I saw my players going, come on, coach. So let them take over a little bit.
Then obviously South Carolina and Howard are playing out there. I guess, what do you know about them? I'm sure you'll go out and watch them a little
I
bit.
will be honest, I really haven't seen them a lot. I mean, it's a 1-game season, and I know they're amazing, and I know just like us, they're coming out, they lost their last game, right? And they were mad and we were mad. So I'm sure they're going to play great because we were mad. Everyone's wanted us to come in here congratulating ourselves, like, you did a great job in the ACC tournament. I said, we're Miami, we don't do almost. Like, we don't care that we almost won a championship. All I knew is we lost our last game. We had a lot of time to be mad about that. And so we were able to play really sharp and focused.
Jeffrey?
Chances are, if that game out there, the second one goes the way we think it's going to go, that you'll end up playing 3 number 1 seeds in 5 games, essentially, in the NCAA tournament.
Yeah.
You ever had a stretch like that? And how stressful is it to kind of have to prepare for great team after great team?
And Margie Gill is my operations. She helps me with scheduling. We had a stretch where I was like, why did we do this? We were in the Bahamas, played Washington State and Indiana, who was 4 in the country. We came right off of that, came back, delayed everything else, and had to go at Maryland, right? That was a stretch. Then we did the ACC tournament stretch. So whatever happens to us, I mean, maybe that's just the DNA of our team. Just bring it on, and we're going to fight every time we get an opportunity to play.
Coach, I don't think we have a game time yet for Sunday, but take us through what the next 48 hours roughly is for you and your team.
Well, we don't play tomorrow, so we had 4 games in 4 days. So wow, I don't know what to do with an off day. I don't know. Maybe we'll go to the movies or something. It'll be nice. It'll be nice to have a chance to prepare. I know Coach Dunkenberger, my assistant coach, has South Carolina Scout, and Shanice Johnson, my other assistant coach, has Howard. So we'll watch the game together and figure it out. But I'm telling you, that took everything. It took great info from my staff and great information from my players tonight. It really helped me.
Any other questions for Coach Meier? Seeing none. All right, Coach, we'll see you tomorrow.
Okay. Oh, I know what I'm going to do. We're going to watch our men.
There you go.
They play, right? We got to go watch our men's team play at 3:30 or something like that. All right. Thank you.